Today is going to be your lucky day because you get to sort through what is going on with natural hair loss treatments that are all across Google, Bing, Yahoo, Yelp, every magazine that you look in, versus which hair loss treatments are natural and do have some merit and can truly back up the reasons that they work. So stay tuned. We're about to start.
Hello, thank you for listening to Thyroid Hair Loss Connection podcast, a science-based, honest, candid conversation about how your thyroid affects your hair. You will learn practical solutions to hair growth, healing your thyroid, and balancing hormones with holistic nutrition approach and the latest treatments. Your hosts, me, Nataliia Sanzo, a registered dietitian, aka Nashville thyroid expert, and Kimberly Vaughn, a board-certified trichologist, hair loss specialist, and coach. To stay up to date on the latest topics, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We also cannot do this without you. Send us a question to the link below and tune in each week for the answers. Now, let's head to the show.
Nataliia, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm very excited about this episode, Natural Hair Loss Treatments. I mean, it doesn't get any better.
That's right. But you have to admit, you've Googled before, right? Before you and I met, and even now, you go online and you go, I wonder if aloe vera would work on my scalp. I wonder what aloe vera would do for the ends of my hair. Will it make my hair shiny? Will it make it healthy, right?
Yes, everything looks like a magical serum that as soon as you put on your hair, it just somehow gonna work.
That's right.
So tell us what works and what doesn't.
Right. So we're going to start off today and talk a little bit about a lot of online treatments that seem to be in the DIY category, and also that one have seen a lot of, I would say, attraction, a lot of episodes in social media, interest. And I'd like to talk a little bit about the myths, or really why maybe that you should think a little bit further and dive in deeper before you try these treatments. So we're going to start initially with one that actually I like, aloe vera. So when we think about aloe vera, we know it's a plant, right? And it has long been used for treating different forms of scalp conditions and hair conditions, also skin conditions, right? It can also reduce some dandruff. It can unblock hair follicles, and it may even help block some excessive oil on the scalp. So the claims around aloe vera working for hair loss and scalp treatment really are there because of the vitamins, the amino acids, and the minerals that are coming from the plant itself. So we know that if you break an aloe vera plant or leaf in half, I should say a leaf, you wouldn't want to break the whole plant in half, but if you break the leaf in half, you squeeze it out, you actually get a juice. That particular juice is what has been taunted, if you will, that it will help reduce dandruff, and it will also help block some excessive oil on the scalp. It's funny, when I was doing some of this research, and, I get a lot of this from our clients that come in, but I found this amazing picture, and I'm just going to see if I can give a good visual of this. Someone had taken an aloe vera leaf, and they had actually cut it crosswise, and it looked like a lime. It was wild. And I'm thinking that must have been the biggest aloe vera leaf I think I'd ever seen. So, but it was pretty cool. But, for years, back in probably medieval days, right? There's always been benefits of aloe vera. So, is there anything proven that it works? No.
Yes. I get this question a lot. Also from my clients with Hashimoto's, because they come in and they not only they drink celery juice, which kind of everybody knows about that one, but aloe vera also shown to have benefits for Hashimoto's.
Really?
Yes, and there's nothing magical about it. Everything you said, it's only because it has a lot of vitamins and minerals in there. It's anti-inflammatory because it's hydration, right, that you're providing. Mm-hmm. So these anti-inflammatory properties are good for our immune system. And guess what it does to our Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disease, right? So if it's aloe vera is good for our immune system, it's great for Hashimoto's. But there's nothing magical about it.
Right.
If you like to put it on your hair or drink it, go ahead, but don't think it's going to solve any problems.
That's right. And aloe vera, out of the 3 or 4 that I'm going to mention today, is probably the safest. So, if you feel like you need to try a DIY treatment and you want to do something at home and you want it to be natural, go for it. I mean, and while you're at it, probably drink a little aloe vera juice too, right?
There you go.
It'll help clean your gut for the day. So the next, which I love this one, and I get a lot of this, is coconut oil. So coconut oil, in its defense, contains a lot of fatty acids. The particular fatty acid is called lauric acid, and that actually penetrates into a core structure, if you will. And so the feeling, and the word on the street is that it actually penetrates into the hair shaft, reducing the protein loss from hair. So let's just break it down a second. So fatty acids, right? We have a lot of those that we need in our body. Coconut oil certainly is one kind. When you ingest coconut oil or anything with lauric acid, it can contribute to and support bad cholesterol levels, right, in your bloodstream. So if you want to ingest coconut oil, I think it's great. But the ads, if you will, and all the information that is kind of taunted about it being helpful for the hair, it talks a lot about it, massaging the coconut oil into the scalp, making sure that you massage the scalp slightly, and then carrying it on down into the midshaft of the hair and into the ends, and even using it as a leave-in treatment. So preventing breakage on the hair midshaft, let me describe what that means. Midshaft is the middle of the hair strand. So let's say that you have 10 inches of hair. The entry point is the scalp. The 10th inch, if you will, is the bottom. The midshaft is halfway through, ding, ding, 5 inches away from the scalp. If you want to utilize something like coconut oil, down the midshaft, down to the ends, massage that in so it adds some sheen and it adds some nourishment and moisture to the hair, that's completely fine. I would also say for African-American women and men, it's great for the hair, but please keep it off your scalp. We'll go into this in a little more detail, but the biggest issue that we find with all of these online treatments is that they're talking about using these products, these oils, these fatty acids on the scalp. They're going to impede with any circulation, any stimulation, or any cleansing and, big word, detoxification of the scalp. So I really, really recommend against these.
I absolutely agree with you. And, you said keep it off your scalp. And I'll say put it in your stomach because coconut oil has MTC oils, or not oils, it's medium chain fatty acids, which are great for healing your stomach lining, your gut lining, all your intestines, because we know the absorption of 90% of our vitamins happens in your gut. So if you nourish your gut with these good medium chain fatty acids, that means that you promoting a good gut health. And, like we said, we did a whole episode on gut health and hair health, how gut influence our hair texture, hair growth, and hair loss. So yes, it's important to, take it in or ingest it or cook with it. Just, don't take a tablespoon every morning on empty stomach, that's just not only nasty, but this is the biggest myth. But to cook with it and, put it on the salad a little bit, it's totally fine.
Right. Okay, good. So listen up, listener. There you go. The next two, I think, are really kind of interesting. And the one in particular, I'm sure everyone's waiting to hear, but I'm going to make you wait one more. So onion juice. Have you ever heard of onion juice?
No, I have not actually.
Okay. So you need to extract the onion juice from the onion. So, I saw a lot of opportunities of how to do this, but it says that, you can consume onion juice, you can blend a few onions and squeeze out the juice. Apply the juice to your scalp and hair and leave it in for at least 15 minutes and then follow with a shampoo. So really, the takeaway on the onion juice is that, onions are amazing for our bodies, right? They help us rid our system of and act as really an antioxidant, also act as a way to detoxify our body of inflammation. So I still would go back to saying ingest onions versus placing it on your scalp or your hair.
Absolutely. And if somebody puts that mixture on their hair, I don't think I want to sit next to them in the room then, because I feel like it would stick. Your hair smells so well.
Yes.
I don't see how you can wash off or wash it out with the shampoo, but I've never tried it and I have no intention on doing it. I enjoy my onions in like a guacamole dip, and yes, that's
well. And so you touched on exactly where we're going in this for this next kind of myth, if you will, is the porosity of your hair. So you said that you had a feeling that the onion juice would really absorb and stick to the hair. That's exactly what it does. So the next big myth that is very popular and has been probably for the last year is, yes, drum roll, rice water baths.
Oh, God.
So according to experts, rice water, and that is the liquid that you get after soaking or cooking rice, is filled with nutrients like amino acids, N-citol, right, which, yes, can strengthen the hair, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin E, minerals, and antioxidants. So theoretically, it should have some topical benefits for your hair, right? So when you look across the internet, it gives you lots of reasons why these benefits could truly help the hair. However, in doing my research and talking to some amazing dermatology friends and trichology friends of mine, we came across a really great article in Cosmopolitan magazine and talking about the pros and the cons of rice water. So I'm going to just give you a little kind of a high-level view. But Dr. Hill, so a board-certified dermatologist, points out that there is no reliable scientific evidence to prove that rice water promotes hair growth. Another one of our great dermatologists that we refer to a lot, Dr. Rabach, explains, in other words, while you wait to see if that rice water works, you might also want to pay particular attention to what's happening to the way the hair feels after you have truly rinsed this rice water out. Although you might find tons of people in favor of using rice water for hair, you'll find just as many who've experienced less than positive results. They have included flaky buildup on the scalp, protein overload with the hair. So this goes back to a little bit about what you discussed a moment ago, Nataliia, about the porosity, right? The onion smell staying in the hair. That really also comes what's going on with the depth and the density and the width of each individual hair strand. That's considered the porosity, right? So rice water has truly also been found that it can cause more dryness and more breakage in these hair strands. So takeaway really is if you have low porosity hair, then rice water will create a protein buildup on the hair that can cause extreme dryness and also can cause the hair to damage even faster. So we want to be very, very careful with this. And really, my final advice on this is rice water will not work miracles for your hair. And it certainly probably does nothing or can cause prolonged damage if used too frequently on the scalp. Even though it's a popular online solution, I would tell you to be very careful before you jump into this particular do-it-yourself treatment.
Gosh, out of all the myths that you covered and can be found on Google, I think this one I will not be using.
Right. Well, and it's just, we think about the starch that's in the water, right? So a very good Japanese friend of mine taught me how to make rice. And so I make it in a rice cooker, but it was never the same flavor. I bought the same rice cooker, prepared it exactly the same. What I missed is that my friend washed the rice probably for 30 to 45 minutes. Cold water bath after cold water bath to remove what? All the starch that's coming from the rice. That starch and that milky water that you see is what you're putting on your hair and your scalp. So,
yeah, that doesn't sound like a good thing. Keep the starch off your hair and put it in your tummy because the carbs are good there.
Mm-hmm. I know. So I'm going to move on to the best part. Now we're going to talk about what does work, right? Mm-hmm. So we don't talk about these as myths because we truly have great, strong data behind why these treatments work. Everything we're going to talk about, again, is natural. And the first thing I want to jump into is massage, AKA scalp stimulation, right? So massaging the scalp, which can be used in conjunction with many other types of treatments and products, stimulates the scalp and may improve the hair thickness and the rate of hair growth. Massage is also known to improve the blood flow and the health of the scalp. There's a great study that came out in 2019 talking about the benefits of massage. And so the study actually conducted across 340 respondents who completed a scalp massage every day, reported attempting really, this massage, we'll call it a standard scalp massage. And the respondents said that they truly massage their scalp daily for 11 to 20 minutes. I really think I've got to enlist someone to come home, right, and massage my scalp for 11 to 20 minutes. Just reporting what the study's findings are, right? So then 3 months into this, 68.9% are reporting that their hair loss stabilized or they saw new growth. The other interesting finding, believe it or not, is during this study, they also had, as half the participants of this study, they talked to them about stretching and actually doing more yoga or body exercise, either pre or post this massage, right? And they truly had positive results. So there's the actual details on this study are going to be concluded in the notes behind this particular episode. So take a look. But the issue really is taking the time to massage your scalp each day can also help you relieve buildup on the scalp, can help that detoxifying process, can help relieve the stress and the tension in our head and our necks. And the bonus to all of this is it truly gets to the root of the hair loss problem via the circulation and the stimulation.
So, Kimberly, you brought up a lot of good points, yoga, stress relief, the inflammation, reducing inflammation through massage. And of course, what massage does is the lymphatic drainage. And it's so good not only for hair growth, but also for thyroid disorders, as weird as it may sound. And, I go and get massage all the time, to treat my thyroid. That's what I tell my husband. I have to treat my thyroid. I'm going to go get my massage. But so do you think I should dedicate 15 minutes of my massage time to now hair massage?
Most definitely. We started a treatment this year called a stimulating scalp treatment. The main reason that we started that is the reports on how much this physical stimulation and this massage is going to make a difference in the improvement of the entire scalp health.
Okay,
so
sign
yes,
me up.
Jump in. Make sure that you allocate 15 minutes of the last, 60-minute massage. Those always seem so short, though.
Mm-hmm. Yes, for sure. Never enough.
No. So staying in line with our natural treatments, this next one, you've heard me speak of this on other episodes, but I want to talk about the importance of copper. So copper is an essential trace mineral. It's very necessary for our survival. It's found in all body tissue, It plays a role in making red blood cells and maintaining nerve cells and supporting the immune system. Copper also helps the body form collagen. Let's see. Hair, skin, and nails, collagen. I think those all work together, right? And it also supports the absorption of iron. We've talked about iron across many episodes and the importance of the functionality of iron with the thyroid, also iron with hair loss and anemia. So the copper is just extremely important in producing this energy across the entire body. Most copper in the body, though, this is what's also very interesting for our listeners, is it's found in the liver, the brain, the heart, the kidneys, and the skeletal muscles. It doesn't say anything about the cellular being, right? Or the soft tissue. That's where we truly need it. So I want to give you just a couple of fast facts so you can add copper to your list of supplements that I want you to consider. First off and foremost is copper is necessary for a range of bodily functions. Copper deficiency is rare, but we really need to stay focused on it. And very seldom does anyone ever check the copper levels in your body, right? Copper supplements are not always necessary. However, if you do not have ample amount of copper, these cellular structures in the system start to break down. The other thing that's really important is anyone that's considering taking copper, you want to make sure that you can also consider eating the proper whole foods to also increase the copper in your diet, right? And we have lots of information on the HPI Hair Partners website that include epigenetic results on why copper is so important.
Okay, Kimberly, I do want to say something before you move on to the next point, is that people with Hashimoto's are actually deficient in copper because we use copper more than a healthy individual. So I test copper in all of my clients that come in with multitude of problems, and 90% of the times they are deficient in copper. And what we have to be careful is supplementing copper, because without supplement, if you take too much copper, even though it's safe, generally safe, if you take too much copper, copper will cause zinc deficiency. And if you take too much zinc deficiency, it will lead to copper deficiency. So you have to get those things tested. Don't just take supplements without knowing your numbers, because copper deficiency is very serious and it's very common in people with Hashimoto's.
Oh, great point. Yes, for sure. That is on the top of our list. When we run our labs, that is one of the very first things. And I don't think I've ever had anyone come in with a lab report that they've ever had their copper levels tested, or selenium or zinc. Occasionally zinc will be tested, right? But I very seldom ever see selenium or copper.
Of course, nobody tests that because it's out of the normal standard care treatment. But you and I, we don't do standard care treatment. We do personalized treatment, and that's why we test those levels.
Yes. Oh, great point. Excellent, excellent. So now let's move on to some more natural treatments that I don't really know if people realize how natural these are, and also the great successes that have come around these over the last, decade, really. And the first one I want to speak about is platelet-rich plasma treatments. So platelet-rich plasma, or PRP, as it's commonly known. Also, let me back up. You'll also see a lot of information now that talk about PRF, which is the platelet-rich fibrin, the fibrin component that actually builds around the platelets. There's a lot of information, and I do believe it's true because we do use the fibrin process in our clinic, and we feel that it helps hold the platelets in place much longer. So let's go back a little bit. So PRP treatments, it's a therapy that, if you're not familiar, it's a therapy that's been used for the last decade. It started primarily with athletes. It started in the orthopedic space, because athletes were being injured. They had a lot of issues that they needed support in their tendons or in their ligaments. Well, they can't take any type of prescribed oral medication, so they had to find something that was natural. And so a lot of orthopedics started injecting platelets into these tendons and these ligaments, and they noticed how much faster the body was healing. We have clients all the time who will start PRP scalp treatments, and they've already had these other treatments in their joints. Also, they've had PRP or PRF injected in any type of dental procedure. So if someone's needing dental practices where it is a plate or it's root canals or anything that there's damage to that tooth or that socket, they will add in these PRP injections, and it will help rejuvenate the cells much, much faster. So as progressive as the hair loss industry is, transplant surgeons started using PRP back in the early 2000s because we felt that if you could get the cells in the body to start to speed up their process, replicate, proliferate, right, and make more cells and new cells, that the new hair that we've transplanted from one area of the scalp to the other is certainly only going to grow faster. And so hence it worked. That's the reason we're using it now across the hair restoration and the hair preservation industry. So the process is pretty simple. Nataliia, you had this performed at our clinic. Maybe it would help our listeners to understand a little bit about how you think about it and why you chose to get in touch with us about PRP and how it's helped you.
Absolutely. I would love to share my experience because I had a good experience. I had a great result. And the reason I reached out to you to try this treatment is because I know the science behind it. I know it works. I don't just want to try, like we talked about the rice water. I don't want to try things and see what happens. I only do things that already have been proven to work. So for me, it was an easy decision, and I knew it would take time. I knew I wouldn't see results right away, and it requires patience. And because I was patient with you, and it's been, 5-6 months since I've done my first treatment, and I completed 3, I see great results. I see hair growth. It's like almost like a little carpet. It's like that baby hair that starts growing. So the volume is there now. It increased. Now it's going to take, I have very long hair, so it's going to take forever to grow out. But at least, it's a good start.
That's right. And have you noticed a difference in the hair texture and the volume of the hair and the way that the hair looks and feels now before or after you have your hair highlighted? Do you notice that that's improved at all?
I see a difference in the new hair growth, the little baby ones. They're very shiny and they're soft. But I don't know if it's because it's new hair. I don't know if it's PRP. I'm not really sure how that, but it grows out very well. It doesn't grow out stick straight or hard. It's the same. It's actually lighter, and I don't know if that would affect
lighter
that.
in color.
Yes, lighter in color.
Right.
Yes, which is great for me because I'm already doing highlights, so less highlights for me.
That's right.
So
That's
yes,
right.
I'm happy with texture and the way it feels and looks. It's shiny.
Good. Well, and PRP is really a minimally invasive treatment. I mean, we start with certainly a full clinical evaluation. Then we move into actually drawing the blood, right? So if for those who are not familiar, PRP are actually injections into the scalp. And the injections are prepared by taking anywhere from 1 to a few tubes of your own blood. We run that through something called a centrifuge, or you can think of it as an ultra-fast spinner, or I don't know. I always think of it as a blender, but that's just the reverse of what it truly does, right? But this truly separates your platelets. So it keeps the concentration on the platelet-rich plasma. It separates the electrolytes, the platelet-rich plasma, and the platelet-poor plasma. Then from there, we activate this particular plasma. We draw this out, then we place these injections onto the scalp. The big key that I want everyone to pay attention to is that this preparation of the platelets is extremely important. So when you start to look for an individual clinic that is preparing and performing PRP, make sure that you understand the amount of PRP that's used. So what you need to find out is that how much platelets are going to be, or how many platelets are going to be actually injected into the scalp. For a female that has diffused thinning, similar to a telogen effluvium shed or an anagen effluvium shed, or even just female pattern hair loss, there needs to be a great number of platelets that are re-injected into the scalp. The injections need to go from below the occipital bone or below the round of your head in the back, right? Where you typically find that bump on the back of your head, and all the way up to the front hairline and down in through the temples, down even near where the ears begin and connect into the scalp. The last thing that you want to do is, if you have female pattern thinning, is only allow those injections to be on the scalp, and the top of the scalp, from the frontal hairline to the crown. That is treating only the platelets and the growth stimulators and those growth factors in those areas. So be very careful, be diligent about who you use for these PRP treatments, because it's very important. Anything else, Nataliia, you want to add on how comfortable your PRP treatments were?
I was very comfortable, and I may be a minority there, but honestly, guys, if you've ever done microneedling on your face, it's way more invasive than on your scalp. It was actually, you guys numb my scalp before even injections and microneedling. So it was almost stimulating. The microneedling part, the injections were okay. It's just little pricks.
Right.
But the microneedling part was almost stimulating. It's like somebody was scratching your scalp. So I actually enjoyed it. It may sound weird.
I'm going to tape that, because I have to take that back and let any client who comes in going, is this going to hurt? What are you going to do? Is it painful? I know. I'm going to send them your way. But oh my gosh, that was a perfect segue right into speaking about the last natural treatment that I have here for a more aggressive treatment, which is microneedling. So if you're not familiar with microneedling, it's a very minimally invasive treatment. Many of you probably have seen this advertised regarding skin and microneedling of the tissues on the face to help fine lines and wrinkles. Well, the same principle applies to your scalp, right? We have to stimulate the collagen. We have to turn over the cells, which is exactly what we do for the scalp. So our treatments of microneedling are standalone, so individuals can come in. We can apply the microneedling treatments with the actual PRP serum, so your own natural platelets, or we actually use a natural growth factor, which in many cases, the reason that we opt for the microneedling treatment is because the growth factors that we're using are truly stronger than someone's platelet count, because we're very particular. We make sure we check the platelet count before we start a PRP treatment. But with microneedling, it's a wonderful way to move forward, even if you're having some autoimmune conditions and maybe those platelet counts aren't at the level of where they need to be. So, microneedling is a great opportunity. We've seen really promising results across the spectrum, from skin and to hair growth, to hair stimulation, to also to scalp stimulation, to scalp health. We've seen a lot of improvement for individuals who have any type of skin irritation, and we find that the microneedling is just a great process. So, I think we've offered several opportunities and several ways for individuals to think about what natural treatments they want to move toward next.
Yes, and it doesn't get any easier than this, just to come into your office and get the treatment done. And it's going to work, because I know the price is up there, but think about all the years and all the money spent on the natural, do-it-yourself or not only topical treatments, but also supplements. How many hundreds of dollars are you spending over the years without seeing a result? So For me, I would rather go every 6 months, get my PRP microneedling done after my drastic, COVID Hashimoto's related hair loss. But at least I know it works. And yes, and it's all, yes. So it's all like, pick your battles, I guess.
Exactly. And I always come back and say, how much money have you spent with all the products that are either sitting on your cabinet shelf or sitting underneath your sink or that you've already thrown away? Mm-hmm. Because it's hundreds and thousands of dollars. And if you can go back to proven treatment, that's the reason we offer before and after pictures. We have all of our clients, just like yourself, are always willing to talk to any new individual coming in that's exploring treatments. Doesn't mean that you have to move forward, but do your homework, do your due diligence, and really determine what's going to be the best for you.
Absolutely. 100% agree.
So at the end of the day, guys, just make sure that, again, do your due diligence, really research the areas of what's going on with natural hair loss treatments, determine why are you losing your hair? Is it due to a genetic predisposition? Is it due to a thyroid issue, an autoimmune issue, a hormone imbalance? And then let's dive holistically and deeply into the root of the problem before you make a decision on where to go.
Absolutely. Kimberly, this was such a great episode. Thank you so much for sharing natural hair loss treatments that work and that don't. Now I know not to put rice water on my hair. Would never do it. But anyway, guys, if you learned something new today, please consider leaving a rating or review for this show so we can continue doing these episodes for you for free. Thank you for being a part of Thyroid Hair Loss Connection community and have a great day.